These are my holiday lights stick and stitch designs. You'll see that they have a bit of a curve to them, and I curve it towards the hand. Just peel and stick it to the shirt, and then I go around the back and add a second piece, and then I just trim it where the ends match up. And I'm using 3 strands of a dark gray color. I split the 6 strands 3 and 3. I thread my needle and then knot one end. And I'm using a basic back stitch here. I come up through the fabric, make a small stitch, pull that down through, and then you skip a stitch length and come up through the fabric again. And then you go down into the hole of your last stitch. And then you just repeat that process. But as you can see here, when you do this stitch, it gets tedious going in and out of the shirt sleeve with your hand. So I'm going to show you a different method. And we're going to combine a stitch all at once. So we'll come up for our next stitch. You'll see my left hand I insert into the sleeve. And I'm going to go down into the previous stitch. But instead of sticking my hand back in to pull the needle through, I'm going to angle it and come up for the next stitch. So I just go down and bring it back up all at one time, pull it through to create a stitch, and then we'll continue and do that again. So go down like you'd be completing the stitch, and then angle it and come up for the next one. And this way, you don't have to put your hand inside the shirt sleeve every time to grab the needle and pull it through. This will save you time, and you're kind of combining 2 of your stitches at once. This will just make the whole process a lot easier. And then you continue like that, just creating the string for the lights. And then when you get to the curved portions, you're just going to make your stitches a little bit smaller or shorter, whichever way you want to say it. So you can see the length of my stitches as I go around this curve, and that will help to make it look curved and not like a bunch of little lines put together. You always want to do shorter, smaller stitches around curves. And I'll show you just a couple more stitches to show you how I go around this whole area. And then you just continue on. And there's our little string as it's coming along. And then for the lights, I come up at the top and down at the bottom. And then you want to make your next stitch as close to the first one as you can. So I come up and then angle it down towards the middle of the bottom, and just continue like that until you have filled out the whole light. I do recommend using a different strand for each individual light in case you make any mistakes and need to cut it out and redo it. And then for the script, I did a back stitch with all 6 strands to make it a little thicker. So it's just like we did our strand of light, except I'm using more strands. And then after completing all of the back stitch with the pink color, I took a strand of silver DMC diamond thread and I whipped the back stitch. So that means to slide the needle under each of the back stitches, going in the same direction each time. So I'm going right to left. And this wraps the silver thread around each of the back stitches, and it helps to give it a more clean look and adds a little bit of flair as well. And then at the end of each line, I go down through the fabric and start on the next section. And then when you're done with the entire shirt, you can just throw it in the washer and dryer, and all of that dissolvable paper will come off, and you'll be left with your clean finished product.